Imagine summoning Ifrit from a different dimension and not thinking that you might in return end up creating a new religion, if not a new idol to be worshipped. Because here's the thing, right? If you take a step back, there's no way the surrounding town, the surrounding city that was about to be destroyed by a walking Hydra, this five-headed snake beast, and not see the giant fire abomination one-shot it seemingly. I mean, yeah, they fought for a couple of minutes, but still, like, even if you can't necessarily see a skeleton toss that thing in the air, you saw the fire beast literally destroyed and engulfed in flames. I know if let's just imagine, something similar happens in our real world, right? Imagine if something like Ifrit popped up and then disappeared after doing something like that. I'm pretty sure most of us, whether we're religious or not, would have a new religion after that, because I know for me anyway, I want to be on the good side of that creature if it ever decides to come back, and that'll be my new religion. Seriously, I love the fact that, you know, the anime is kind of self-aware, and the fact that it uses characters like Ariane to say, do you, like, seriously not think someone's gonna start worshipping that? I mean, you literally have a 100-foot creature who's sitting like a dog now, but yeah, I mean, given everything you just did, you might have just accidentally created something to be worshipped, which in return could end up creating an entirely new religion. Whether satanic or not, I don't know, but holy shit, Arc, for living that quote-unquote quiet life, that low-key lifestyle, has done anything but such. And I love the fact that for him, he continues to argue he is living that quiet life or he's gonna go back to it. And now we have two characters literally going Pikachu face, being like, bitch, you serious? Not only are you somehow summoning demons from another world or another dimension, you literally are destroying something that no army could destroy. It literally regenerates its heads. And after doing, you know, what should have been a killing blow and that didn't work out, you summon a goddamn giant fire beast to do it for you. You are doing anything other than living a casual, carefree life, as then they then remind us shortly after with the princess kind of talking about her angel that saved her. You literally have created someone who feels like she was saved and chosen by God, while at the same time potentially creating a religion all at the same time. Whether those two things interlink at some point, whether the princess decides that Ifrit is their deity, the chosen warrior from, you know, God or something, I don't know, but that's hilarious. And all I can say is I need more. I want more, it deserves more. Skeleton Knight was a fantastic show. It was goddamn funny, it was brutal at times, but it just was confident, right? It had that confidence of saying, we're gonna have Arc be a little dense. Not an idiot, but he's gonna be a little clueless to just what he's truly doing to this world. But we're gonna surround him by a very small supporting cast that's gonna help him navigate and traverse this world in a way that, yes, he's just trying to live his casual, carefree life, but because he's a generally good guy, he gets roped into saving people from slavery and things like that, and then in return he accidentally revives a princess, who then in return is probably more fit for the throne than her shitty brothers, but at the same time, you know, reviving someone from the dead could definitely go to their head. I thought it was amazing to see how they're, like, able to remind us of all the political ramifications in the middle of a giant Hydra battle, but they did it with ease. I like getting a bit of clarification of the scumbag who's been summoning these things. I actually thought they did a hell of a good job explaining his powers, because they didn't really need to, if you ask me, and I think most people would have been a-okay not knowing how he actually was controlling. But the idea that, you know, you most likely would tattoo or carve in these engravings, and they'd be basic enough that if you got cut on them, you would still be able to control the creature in question. But given the fact that he was controlling things as extreme as a Hydra, he had to have these complex engravings, tattoos, whatever they are, all over his body, so a simple slash disrupts it. And even though he's talking like, well, it doesn't matter, the creature's just gonna go on a rampage, we saw how that worked out for him and he became a kebab on a barbecue, and there wasn't much left because Ariane decided to close the lid and leave it to burn to a crisp. But it was great to see just how action-packed this episode was while still reminding us of all the shit going on in this world, getting some information about the princess finally making that deal with the elves. Seemingly things are working out. Progressiveness is being made here, but ultimately, like, there's still a lot of uncertainty with the brother. And I think that's my biggest reason of wanting a season 2, is I want to see more of that side of the story, getting more Arc and Ariane, sure, the hot springs, wherever they're going there to potentially lift his curse, that's an interesting plot point, but the bread and butter for me is the political side of the story. But the general comfiness and action-packedness that this show is going on is kind of what keeps you there week by week. They did a hell of a good job animating the Hydra. There was actually very little 3D towards the Hydra, which surprised me because the show has done an amazing job with blending the 2D and 3D. Half the time, Ariane and Arc and the company there are literally 3D models. Hell, at the end there, when they're just walking towards the screen, most of that was 3D, right? They know how to make it look really good, so I was expecting a lot of that. But I mean, despite maybe not being on screen as long as other fight scenes in anime with similar sized creatures, they did a great job animating so many things that normally would be 3D. Like the fact that when it was initially marching towards the city, each of the 5 heads was literally almost slithering like a snake, but in a different way that gave them their own almost personality. If you go back and rewind and watch it, it's actually surprising the attention to detail they put on this creature that was just there to get killed. And I have to commend the studio. They went above and beyond for this to make it actually one of the most visually impressive isekai series I've seen in some time. Some people might claim that to be an exaggeration, but given how much I enjoyed looking at all the different character models, love the background, I love the color palette and how bright and vibrant it is, but also how dreary it could be in the more depressing moments. And given how good they blended the 2D and 3D so seamlessly that unless you're paying really, really close attention, you're probably not going to notice when it is one or the other. I just really think this is an impressive show across the board, way better than I was ever expecting. And I think if they deliver another 12 episodes minimum, I think given where the political side of the story could go, could really elevate this into what I would say is close to a masterpiece. As it stands, I think it's an amazing show. But given where the story can go from here, both with Arc's personal journey, the just general bonds that he's building, and also just the kind of like who's going to end up on the throne and what will happen afterwards, given this skeleton boy and just his casual interference, potentially creating religions and reviving very powerful people, there's a lot of possibilities among just having more great comedy, like him casually taking his helmet off and scaring the living shit out of Best Ninja Girl, not knowing that he was a skeleton, right? I also thought it was absolutely fantastic to have that opening kick in at the end of the battle there, because Plickett, who did the opening, I mean, the man just absolutely knocked it out of the park, having one of the most energetic openings of the season, and having that song and him just, I never thought I would hear Plickett, right, in the middle of an anime action scene as cool as this, let alone have him be one of the openings of the season. Like, it's just cool to see how they incorporated that music and really just elevated an already quality product into something even greater, if you ask me. And I'm sure I'm not alone, because I've seen so many people over the week say, holy shit, that still is one of the best openings of the season, and I can't disagree with them. This show was amazing. I really think it deserves more, and hopefully we'll get it sooner rather than later. But thoughts and feelings down below. What did you think, either on this episode or product as a whole? Because I think there's a lot to talk about with this show, so I'd love to read everyone's thoughts down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new around here. So next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.